Hey guys, it's me, Yaya Diamond. What's up? How you doing? Oh my gosh, it's going to be an amazing interview today. We have a great show for you today. Not only that, someone who has served for this country, the United States of America, and I want to thank him for his service. And I also want to thank him for his book. Yes, we have an author on the show today. And the name of the book, we're going to go ahead and show that right now, is going to be by Jessie R.Cox. And the name of that book is America in Bible Prophecy, Our True Identity by Ancient Names. I want to welcome Mr. Cox to the show today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Yaya. It's great to hear.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing and a pleasure to have you. Thank you again so much for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I always go back and I always find out, okay, when did you know you wanted to write a book? Not everybody wants to write a book and not everybody remembers exactly when, but kind of like it was like, put on their heart that they had to do it.
Well, I never dreamed that I would ever write a book. I always had like an inclination because I was a flight instructor and a maintenance test pilot, and I've always been highly technical. And I drove a truck for a while, and I run across this radio show that was talking about this information. I said, man, what he's saying and what I've been taught was not correct. So I really got on my knees and prayed the good Lord for help on this to show me the truth. And the Spirit came to me. It really did, and prompted me to write this book.
Wow. It is one thing to know that you were not on that path that you thought you were on. But it's another thing entirely to adapt that path and see that path through. Not everybody can do that. What did you do to kind of help you to change your thought pattern? Not everybody can do that.
Well, I've been a Christian since I was 13 years old. I live with my sister and my brother-in-law, and they were great Christians. And they won me over to the Lord, and I've been a Christian ever since. And Bible prophecy has always been my gift, I suppose, that you would say. Corinthians gives us a list of all the gifts. And I guess he gave that gift to me as Bible prophecy, and I've always had that interest. The good Lord knew he had to get me away out of my career because of being in aviation this whole time, I always had to spend all my time studying and being in the books just to maintain the aviation stuff. So I never really had time to really get into the Bible and really study. And since I retired and when I went on the road trucking for a few years, matter of fact, I went on the road trucking for a few years and got back into aviation and finished my career up as a maintenance test pilot out at Fort Rucker.
Wow.
So that little bit of trucking time gave me the Holy Spirit worked through me, and it really got me set on the path that I have now. Really, I've written 4 books.
Wow.
I've written this book, and they're also in process of printing my second book now, which should be out very shortly.
Wow. That is so cool. That is so cool. So the change and the adaptation of the change, was it easy for you to change? Was it hard? Was it something that you had to go through that was really like, wow, that is just wow, blew my mind? And as a matter of fact, I want to make sure that everybody knows that the QR code is up here in the corner. You can go ahead and go to the book on Amazon and check it out for yourself. So again, let's get back with that change. Tell me about that.
There was no change really. Like I told you, I've read throughout my library here. I've probably got 200 or 300 books, mainly on like Bible prophecy and biblical stuff. And I've always been in it And I think
Mm,
this is why God wanted me to write my book. I've been studying this stuff since I was 21 years old.
wow.
When I went in the Army at age 19, I was drafted, so I had no choice. But I went in and finished my career.
Hmm. Wow.
Retired a little over 21 years in 1992. But
Powerful.
no, it was very easy. I think this
Mm,
was the plan the good Lord had for me my whole life. And the
mm.
aviation gave me the ability and expanded my mind to be able to do this now.
Wow. And I'm looking at it. Okay, so why the name our true identity by ancient names? What is that all about?
Well, uh, like I told you, my Christian friends and also the family, they don't think America is in Bible prophecy. And this is what, when I listened to this radio show out in Texas, it was
Mm,
a midnight radio show that I would listen to while I was trucking. I said, something's not right with what I've been taught. So I hit the scriptures on this.
mm,
And at first, I didn't understand. It took a whole year of trucking and praying on my knees with tears, asking, begging the good Lord and the Holy Spirit to show me the truth. And I'm telling you, one day it came to me like a flash.
mm.
Ever since, when I read the scriptures, I can understand it.
Right.
And that's when the good Lord came to me and told me to write a book on it.
Mm. Is this your crest?
This crest proves that America is in Bible prophecy because this is the crest of the English and Scottish royal chart of arms.
Mm,
If you really look at it, you've got the lion on the top with the two swords,
mm-hmm.
sword and a diadem and a crown on him. That's King David's throne. That's the throne of Judah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the unicorn. You've got the horses, which is Ephraim, the unicorn, which
Mm-hmm.
that comes right out of Deuteronomy 33:17, where it calls
Yeah.
Ephraim and Manasseh the
Mm-hmm.
two sons of Joseph to give them the blessing and have the symbol of the unicorn and bull.
Mm-hmm.
And America is the bull of Wall Street.
Hmm.
England is the only nation in recorded history that has a unicorn as a national symbol.
Mm.
And the British Empire, throughout the whole British Empire, which of 46 nations, it goes with the old saying, the sun never sets on the British Empire, because
Mm-hmm.
they were all over the world. Okay, that that proves that we are Ephraim and Manasseh, the United
Right.
States and Great Britain.
Wow. That is wow. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people have never really studied that. But when it came to you in that revelation and you wrote this book and you look back at it now, what do you think? Could there be anything else you want to add? Did you add it in your new book?
Well, all this, yes, absolutely. This, and you would have to really read the whole book to
Mm,
understand, because I cover basically everything. The book was written as a study guide.
wow.
It's not easy reading, and
Mm,
if you really want to learn, you've got to get into the scriptures I quote.
mhm.
It goes from uh, like what we just discussed.
Right.
It gives the history of how the lost sheep of Israel migrated into Europe, and I list it by ancient tribes and names like Bashan, Sharon, Gilead, and all these. We are those tribes that
Mm,
migrated across the Caucasus Mountains. If
wow.
you if you go to Second Esdras, the book Second Esdras, it's in
Mm-hmm.
the Apocrypha. Um, I think it's chapter 13, 40 through 46. It actually explains the 10 northern tribes and how they migrated out of when they were released from the Assyrian captivity. They
Mm,
crossed the Caucasus Mountains. That's why we're called Caucasian.
wow.
They were tall, blonde haired, blue eyed, uh, stout people, and they became the if you look over in Second Kings, I think it's chapter 16, it calls the 12 tribes nations.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to the blessings of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it says that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was to be many nations
Mm-hmm.
and King of Kings.
Wow. Wow.
And you can see it in the symbols that's on my book.
Right, right, definitely. So what I want to find out is, it's so many different things and so many different nations. I mean, we're talking nations, we're talking different regions, we're talking maybe different colors as well.
Oh, yes.
See?
Uh, Ezekiel calls his people a speckled bird. What's a speckled bird? That's
Hmm.
all races in the human.
There you go.
That's why heaven is open to everybody. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter whether you're black, white, Asian, any color, or uh, any peoples in the world. The gospel is open to every living soul.
I love that. You know why I love that? Because I don't believe that after we've shed this skin, after we've shed these bodies, that we are no different from each other.
Absolutely not. There's not a prejudice bone in my body. And
No,
during my military
of
career,
no, of course
I had
not. But
some good Mexican and black
oh,
friends.
what I'm
Awesome.
saying is when we leave this body and we go back to the creator, the father, the heavenly father, uh, we are the same. And
Exactly.
on this earth, we're different. I mean, variety is great, why not have it, But as far as like who we are and who we are as the energy, as the spirit that is inside of this body, we are all the same. And we're all brothers and sisters, and we're all supposed to love each other because
God's
we came
children.
from the same creator.
We inherit, when you become a Christian, guess what name you inherit? You inherit the name Israel.
Hmm.
You look at the eighth chapter of Romans, it talks about being adopted into the tree.
That's
And the
right.
tree is the
Drafted.
church.
Hmm.
And it doesn't matter who you are, what race, creed, or color, you become a child of God when you're born into his family. And your name is Israel. God's name is Israel. When you come from your mother and your father, you inherit the father's name.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as a Christian. We inherit God's name called Israel. He changed Jacob's name to Israel for that purpose. See,
Wow.
Jacob was Jacob, but
Yeah.
God changed his name to Israel so we can accept God's name when we become saved.
Yeah. This is wonderful. And you've done this whole book as a study guide for people who really, really, truly want to dig deeper and understand where they truly come from and who we truly are. And that is it's just wonderful to me. I absolutely love it. How long did it take you to write this book?
It took me almost 4 years.
Wow.
It's almost 400 pages. Well, it is. I think it's just a somewhere around 400 pages.
Wow.
And it's very extensive, and you have to read it from cover to cover
Hmm.
if you really want to get the truth.
Yeah. And I absolutely love that. I absolutely love. What
Y'all
kind
know,
of, uh-huh.
can I say something?
Yes, definitely. Go right ahead.
The church has lost our identity. They don't read the scriptures for what it actually says. See, my sister, and my brother in law, I tried my best for 20 years to show them this. I give them a copy of this book. See, this is a reprint. I first printed this book in 2004, and I give my Christian friends and my family this book, and they think I'm out in left field. They think I'm nuts, and it comes straight out of the scriptures. What can you say?
Yeah. No, I you know what? I had the revelation of this even when I went through seminary, and I literally had the revelation of this. And you're right. The church does have it wrong, and that's why I kind of dropped out. I got my whole pastor's license and everything. I've been 7 years, and I got everything, but it really set me aback that I was kind of like you know, thought to be crazy. Like, this girl's got, she lost her mind. You know what I mean? So I know exactly where you're coming from, and I truly, truly know that Israel is the name of the chosen people of the Bible, and I know that. And it's like, you know, and that's why I said it's a rainbow, a speckle, like you said. But it's like most people don't accept it because they have not been able to make the change. It's like as if they don't want to let go of something that they've invested so hard in and so long in, just to be a little incorrect. Now, I'm not saying everything is wrong. I'm just saying that the identity part of it and where you're supposed to be is wrong. And I
Well,
don't think that they
let
can,
me
and
tell
a
you
lot of
this.
people just don't accept it.
Let me tell you this, and this is where Christians just don't see the truth in the Bible. When
Mm-hmm.
the 10 tribes of the northern tribes, the two southern tribes was around Judah, they were called Judea, which became Jews. The
Mm-hmm.
10 northern tribes, 120 years before, in 721 BC, they migrated, well, after their 70-year captivity, they migrated across the Euphrates, and it took them a year and a half. They went up across the Caucasus Mountains. Now, those were called the lost sheep of the house of Israel because they never returned. So,
Mm-hmm.
where did they go? They
Mm-hmm.
became the nations like England, Spain, Germany, Italy, the north in the north regions. Norway, Denmark, Sweden. They
Mm-hmm.
became kings. That's where the kingships come from. Those 10 tribes. The breastplate on the high priest has 12 stones, and each one of those stones represents a tribe of Israel, which represents a throne, a kingship, just as the blessings to Abraham and Isaac said
Mm-hmm.
that they shall be kings, kingdoms, and nations, pushing people together to the ends of the earth.
Wow.
And
Wow.
what did England become? The greatest nation ever, until America came along.
Mm-hmm.
Sun,
Yeah.
sun never set on them because
Wow.
they 46 nations worldwide under the symbol of the unicorn, and America adopted the bull and eagle. The eagle comes from Dan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Wow. This is amazing. I mean, people got to get the book if they really, really want to study. If you, if you are looking for that next level, if you want to go to the next, you know, level of your faith, I do suggest this book. I really do, and I think that you guys should go ahead and look into this for yourselves, because to me it's like, okay, there is always something that you're going to have to learn, and there's always going to be a new revelation and something personal, and also something just general for us all, but also in your personal walk, you know, for you as a person. And this year is just amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Cox, for writing the book, for being on the show. What kind of advice do you have for people that are watching today?
I would tell, especially Christians, the ones out in the churches, which they call the church, and also the patriots, it would be an unbelievable blessing for them to know that we are of the house of Israel. Like the name Cox, which is my name. My wife's maiden name was Lindsay, and all the other names are come from England, of the 10 lost tribes, or really the 12 lost tribes, because a lot of the Jews are also in it. So
Mm-hmm.
because they all amalgamated with the European people,
Wow.
and they are that we are the house of Israel as a nation. And I think it'd be a great blessing for all Americans to realize who we are. The great nation in of Israel in Palestine right now, they only had the authority through uh, the house of Israel, which was given the kingship in First Kings 12, 19 through 20. The throne was taken from Jerusalem and given to the 10 northern tribes that migrated and never came back. In other words, the throne of England was moved from Jerusalem to England, where it sits right now as King David's throne, the throne of England.
Mm, 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 mm. Well,
Yeah.
I thank you so much. Is there anything that we missed today that you'd like to say?
Oh, I could sit here. We could sit here 2 days solid.
I hear that. I hear that. So, Mr. Cox, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. There is the QR code, but also the link is going to be in the description box. It's going to be America in Bible Prophecy, Our True Identity by Ancient Names. You've got to go check it out for yourselves. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. But most of all, don't forget to go check this book out. Okay. All right, guys. And until next time, bye.
Thank you.
Don't forget to follow us on YouTube and Instagram. Thank you for watching.
I dare to